Hey everyone, I'm Brett, and welcome to Nightwood Guns. Man, we have come a long way since my Sig Romeo Zero review and my Holosun 507K review, because here we are with the Holosun EPS Carry review, and spoiler alert, I really like this sight. Be sure to stick around to the end of the video because while I give this sight extremely high praise, there's still some things to talk about regarding Holosun. If you enjoy this video and you want to support the channel, be sure to subscribe. That is the best way you can support the channel right now, along with giving it a thumbs up and a like, and check the links in the description below. That's where you can find my books on Amazon, along with my Patreon page. Now let's hop into the review of the EPS Carry. So I remember when I was super hyped for the Holosun 407 and 507K and I was able to get my hands on one and make a video for it. That was the single best micro dot available for these micro carry guns. And now Holosun has outdone themselves and offered a closed emitter version of the 507K, and it's an absolute winner. Guys, if you're gonna get a red dot for your micro carry gun, the EPS Carry is the way to go. There's just no getting around it. With the Romeo Zero, even though now it has its armor, the battery still sucks and you still got the one button press, and the 507K is an open emitter, and you're gonna have to dig belly button lint out of the window and out of the emitter. The Holosun EPS Carry, since it is a closed emitter optic, you're not gonna be dealing with that lint problem from the 507K at all. Worst case scenario, if your lens gets dirty, all you do is wipe it off because the emitter is located inside the entire unit. There's no more blowing it out with compressed air or getting in there with a Q-tip. Just wipe it off and you're done. Honestly, it's the #1 reason why I've switched over to closed emitters on pretty much all my guns. The other thing is, if you drop your gun in mud and dirt a lot, there is nowhere for mud and dirt to get all clogged up in the emitter. It's completely protected. The window size on this unit is...
We're supposed to be a unit!
Suck my unit.
The window size on the EPS Carry is also excellent, which makes it easy to pick up from the holster and maintain it under recoil. There's no reason not to go with the sight. Even if this didn't have 3 dot options, a 2 MOA dot, a full circle, and the circle with the dot in it, along with a solar failsafe and a shake awake technology, I would still recommend this dot. The dot on this is also super crisp, which I'm a huge fan of. And of course, like other Holosun products, it's also very easy to change the battery. There's a little tray right there, so you don't have to break the Loctite on your screws and remove the sight in order to change the battery. And of course, much like the 507K, it is leagues above the Romeo Zero because you have the 2 buttons, you have the plus and the minus for brightness, so you don't have to deal with the 1 button up and down of the Romeo Zero. And go figure, you actually get real glass on the lens. Which, by the way, the glass has proven to be very scratch resistant. I'm actually thoroughly impressed. Now, a huge improvement that I saw right away with the EPS Carry versus the 507K that I had is it doesn't have as much of a fishbowl effect on the lens. I mean, this thing is exactly like I like it, and if you've been around the channel, you know I'm picky about dots. I typically run SROs, RMRs, and of course, Acro P2s. So if I'm that much of a snob and I'm saying that this is hands down the best micro dot out there, hopefully that gives you some perspective. Something I almost forgot to mention is this also has a rear sight built into it in case you have like an original P365 XL where you lose the rear sight when you remove the plate and you don't have an existing co-witnessing rear sight. So be aware that this is better than nothing, but the reason to have the redundancy of a co-witnessing an existing rear sight is because if for whatever reason the optic flies off of the gun, you still have iron sights. So if this is the only sight you're depending on as a co-witnessing rear sight, if you lose the optic, you are losing your sights altogether and you're gonna be running just front sight. Is that the end of the world? I don't know. How good are you at point shooting? I have a bunch of cruncher rounds through this dot now, and I can say that I'm never going back to any other dot on a micro gun. This is the one. This dot has been reliable, dependable, and durable. The glass is clear, the dot is crisp, the window size is decent for the size of the actual unit itself. There's not much to complain about with this. Go out and buy one now. That being said, like I mentioned at the beginning, there are a few things to talk about as far as Holosuns go. First of all, and I actually find this hilarious, but with the Holosun 507K video that I did, I mentioned that it was made in China at like the beginning of the video. I prefer to support American manufacturing, and these sights are manufactured in China.
How do you get shirts so clean, Mr. Lee?
Ancient Chinese secret.
And that video got a lot of views for me right off the bat, and Holosun actually reached out to me and said that they want to like talk to me on the phone and stuff like that. I'm like, man, I'm making it big now. Well, I talked to the rep on the phone And that's when he started drilling me about me saying that the site was made in China. It seems like they like to keep that on the down low, and he didn't like it that I talked about it, and he was actually trying to convince me to remove that part from my video. I mean, the video was filled with praise. The Dot was perfect. I just mentioned it was made in China. And that kind of left a bad taste in my mouth that he was asking me to censor my video, so I'm just gonna say it loud. These sites are made in China.
Here's a fact. I don't know whether you know or not.
Holosuns are made in China.
Come again? No, it's a fact.
Does that matter? That's up to you. I don't care. I bought one. I knew what I was getting myself into. The phone that I'm recording this on is made in China, but I buy made in America as often as I can. Surefire, made in America. Radium Products, made in America. SLR Rifle Works, made in America. Apex Tactical, made in America. Okay, the gun's made in Austria and the site is made in Sweden, but at least they are not made in communist China. So piggybacking off of that story, nowhere on the box or the container or the owner's manual or on the unit itself does it say made in China. If it does, it is like a QR code or something that says that it's made in China, because I can't find it anywhere, but it's made in China.
Holosuns
Have
commie
blood pumping through their hearts. And no, if you don't believe me, you can look it up.
But if you buy the site, you're supporting the Chinese economy. Yes, there are American employees of Holosun, and they are awesome, great, pro 2A people. But at the end of the day, this site's manufactured in China.
Because you're part
communist.
I just find it funny that they kind of don't want people mentioning that this is made in China. Like, if you look at all of the marketing material for the EPS and EPS Carry, it doesn't say it's made in China anywhere. Clearly, they are ashamed of it and trying to hide it because it's nowhere on there. I just find that amusing. When it comes to my guns and firearm accessories, I try to support American manufacturing businesses. While something like a Trichicon SRO definitely uses chips and components that are from China, the housing and everything is manufactured in America, so you are supporting American manufacturing jobs by purchasing Trichicon products. But unfortunately, this blows the Trichicon RMR-CC so far out of the water that you're doing yourself a disservice by buying the RMR-CC over the Holosun EPS Carry. Capitalism still exists, and no matter where something is made, if it's the better product, it's going to win in the marketplace. And this is the site that I recommend, despite its origin of manufacture. Now, the other thing with this EPS Carry is the battery that came with it was absolute garbo and needed to be replaced very quickly. So thanks to that, I don't really have an accurate estimate on what the battery life on this looks like, but I did put a quality Duracell battery in there since, and have had no issues, and I'm honestly not expecting any issues. The batteries that come with these things are usually trash anyways. I'm sure that this will live up to the 50,000 hour battery life. Just know that it's not going to happen with the battery they send it with from the factory. The final thing in this negative section of the video that I'm going to mention is when buying a Holosun product, be aware of quality control issues. Now, obviously QC in the firearms industry right now is at an all-time low. It's like embarrassing. But with Holosun products, just know that people have had lenses pop out because the adhesive on the glass fails. They've also had the closed emitter sights like 509Ts not be waterproof, and water actually gets in there and sprinkles the inside like a fishbowl. But Holosun does have good customer service and they stand behind their product, so do not worry. I still recommend buying Holosun products. It's just one of those things, vet it for reliability and make sure the glass isn't going to pop out on you. The likelihood is very slim that it would happen because the vast majority of these things run the way they should, but it's something that still does occasionally happen. So don't worry, Holosun customer service has your back, and it's probably not going to happen, but be aware that these are things that have happened before. In conclusion, there's no reason to get anything other than the EPS Carry for your P365 or X Macro, Hellcat, your Glock 48 or 43X. This is the most feature-rich and quality dot available for these tiny carry guns, and I wholeheartedly and fully endorse it. This site gets a 10 out of 10, and I am excited to see what they come up with next for these micro guns, because I don't see it getting any better than this. And of course, don't forget to keep an eye on the channel because I do update videos if anything goes wrong with any of the equipment that I'm using. but I don't see how anything could happen with this. It has proven to be extremely dependable so far in my usage. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up and a like, and leave a comment, anything in the section down below. It is crucial to the survival of this channel. I greatly appreciate it. It was great seeing you guys again, and I'll see you in the next video. I'm Brett, and this was Nightwood Guns. Nightwood out.